Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Spirit of War, the Necromancy quest that introduces you to the first Necromancy boss that goes by the same title, Hermod. To get started, find Karen, spelt with an H, by the boat by the river towards the middle of the city. Follow along here. The prerequisites to do this quest are to have done the Vessel of the Harbinger quest and all its prerequisites, have level 65 Necromancy, and have 3,000 City of Vessel souls. It's also not required, but very recommended to do Killiro, the quest, so that you can use parts from Hermod or drops from Hermod to upgrade your armor, Necromancy armor, starting at tier 70 into power armor. This is a very short quest, or at least it's not very complicated. It's meant mainly to teach you Hermod's mechanics, so just follow through the dialogue with Karen here to proceed. Now head a little bit northeast to a skeleton named Ed, who will rent you a boat to cruise around the river. There's an option to take a tour along the river. I don't know what that does, but choose the option to take a boat out yourself and unequip both of your offhand and your main hand weapon in order to do so. By the way, you don't need so much stuff in your inventory if you have at least level 65 Necromancy and updated gear. I way over prepared for the Hermod fight, but yeah, you shouldn't need so much. So now you find yourself on a rowboat in the lake in the city of which is huge. And I'm going to speed through this part a little bit because it's not very complicated, but it does take a long time because you roll around at this quite slow pace. So what you're looking for are 4 wayward souls that are generally speaking in the 4 corners of the lake, like northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast. It's kind of an oblong lake, so it's approximate, but they look like little wisps floating around. I thought this might be a wandering soul, so I checked, but it's actually just Tavia. She is not handing out fishing rods, unfortunately, though. But the wandering souls look like this little wisp that you see right here. So you just click on them and you'll go and collect them. You don't need inventory space or anything like that. You'll just collect. So that's what you're looking for, roughly in the 4 corners of the map here. One other note I will mention that's useful as you're going around is that you'll see other undead or other skeletons in their own little rowboats. Talk to them. You get about 25 souls going into your well of voyage for every little boat that you catch. I found 2 in the lake. I don't know if there's more, but it helps. We've just found the second wayward soul, by the way. As you can see, I'm just kind of circling around the lake. This was the roughly southeast one. As I keep going around, I soon encounter the next one, the roughly southwest one, and then you'll see that I overshot a little bit, but eventually found the northwest one also. Just follow along to find the approximate locations of the remaining 2 souls. All right, once you have all 4, you just return to the docks, and I did some fiddling around here, and it took me a second to figure out that in order to get back on land, you just click this part here where it says disembark dock. Then you end up on foot, and you just talk to Karen one more time. Once you arrive, just go and speak to Raciel. You'll have a brief conversation, and then you'll fight Hermod. Again, this isn't a difficult fight, and I'll walk you through it even with full revolution or mostly full revolution. And the fight begins. So this fight with Hermod, he has roughly half the HP and half the, not half the stats, but he has half the HP, and the minions he conjures have about half the HP of the actual boss fight that you unlock after the quest. He isn't too damaging. If you are taking a lot of damage, you can use the Vengeful Spirit summon, which heals you for a large portion of the damage it does, like 175% of the damage it does, actually. That's very helpful. And then alongside that, you can summon the Skeleton Warrior here. That is pretty good. I noticed that if you put the summons on your Revolution bar, at least I tried this later with having the Skeleton and the Ghost at the front of my Revolution bar, I only used auto attacks. I don't know if it's a bug or intended or whatever, but keep your summons off of your Revolution bar if you can. Just hotkey them and summon them as needed. Hermod has two mechanics that you need to worry about. One you see here where he summons Armored Phantoms. Don't worry, they're not as strong as the ones by Fort 4 and 3. They're pretty weak, just kill them. But know that Hermod is immune until you do kill them. The second mechanic we just saw there, this is his auto attack. That's not the mechanic. His other mechanic is when he turns around and takes a long time to do the attack. That is a bigger slam. It does do a lot of damage, but you can avoid it by simply moving out of the way, like here. I didn't know that in this video, by the way, so I can't demonstrate it. I just kind of took the hits because they're very light. But that's how you dodge the backwards turning attack. It's also a good time to use Resonance if you're low on health, especially if you have Bone Shield active and you don't even need a shield switch. But that's it. That's the fight. You just keep going. His auto attack you can't do much about. Just take it. The turning, long-winded spinning attack, dodge it or take it as you please. And kill the Armored Phantoms when he summons them. If your Necromancy level is pretty low or at the minimum required here and you don't know what you're doing it because it's only the second day of Necromancy total, just use your full Revel bar, keep your health up. If you have Soul Split, great. If not, try using a Vampirism Aura. Make sure you have an Overload or at least a Super Necromancy potion to make this go a little faster, and you should be okay. And the fight is over, and so is the quest. Just talk to Karen to finish up. Thank you for watching. Keep a lookout for a Hermod proper guide for fighting the boss after the quest. I'll have that published shortly. Alright, take care. Thank you. I'll catch you in the next one.